And now for our keynote speaker this morning. Our keynote speaker has been with Adelanteya for quite a few years now. She's been participating as a workshop presenter and as an exhibitor, sharing valuable information and her passion for affordable Medicare in the community. Her interest in medicine was sparked by the overwhelming health disparities that she witnessed in her own community. After teaching for 2 years, she decided to go back to school to East Los Angeles College and take the courses required for medical school. Karla Gonzalez has a master's degree in public health and will be graduating next month from the UCLA Prime program as a doctor and a public health advocate. In the very, very near future, she will be serving in her own community as a family medicine physician and will be joining forces with individuals who are passionate about improving health and promoting wellness. It is my honor to present Karla Gonzalez.
Thank you, Annette, and good morning. It's a wonderful day in Pasadena, and you're in for a real treat, ladies. It's a great honor of mine to have been asked to share some opening words this morning. Today is a day of dreams. It's a day when big dreams can begin, big dreams can change, and for those of you that have been dreaming for a long time, a day when your big dreams can start to become a reality. I hope that today you will be inspired to love every bit of yourself, from the way your mind works, to the way you smile, to the way you talk, from the mujer that you are today and the mujer that you are destined to become. 2 weeks ago, I finished my last day ever as a medical student. And as of June 5th, 2015, my new title will be Karla Gonzalez, MD, MPH. And even though July 1st will mark my first day as a medical resident, aka a doctor in training, to my patients, I will continue to be what I have been for the last few years, doctora. Someone who will help them, someone who will listen, and someone who's going to help solve their medical issues at hand. If you had told me 30-some years ago that someday I would grow up to be a doctor, I guess that I would have believed you. And I say that because as little girls, we don't quite know about limits. We haven't yet learned to doubt our capabilities. No one has shattered our dreams. In rummaging through old keepsakes, I came across this. It's the 4th grade edition of the Beverly Bobcat, our quarterly newspaper at my grade school. And in it were featured different students, and lo and behold, one of these pieces was on me. My friend Amy wrote a short piece on me. And it reads, Karla is 10 years old. Her birthday is January 28th. Her favorite subject is art. She likes pizza, she likes watching TV, and she also likes to skate. Her chores are to make her bed and clean the table. She wants to be a doctor. She likes to watch Eye on LA, and her favorite sport is tennis. At 10 years old, it was very simple and very matter-of-factly. I was going to be a doctor. And I'm not sure where that confidence emerged from, but if I could guess, I would say that the mujeres in my family had something to do with it. My family comes from Mexicali, Baja California. Today, it's a bustling town, home to some of the best tacos and Chinese food that you'll ever have. And a border town where two cultures collide, the Mexican and the American. And where just being on the other side of that border can make all the difference in the world in terms of opportunity. Here's a photo of Mexicali back in the day. It was a different time, and there were few opportunities for women to study, and let alone enter the workforce. But lucky for me, my grandmother knew this. And after years of dealing with a cheating husband, she said, "Ya basta, hasta aquí, enough." And she took her 3 children and headed north, across that border, to work and to raise her family in a place that she believed would offer more. And it was a very courageous thing to do. And she settled in Boyle Heights, a neighborhood just outside of downtown Los Angeles, a neighborhood rich in many cultures, and a neighborhood that we still call home today. And this is my beautiful mother. At the young age of 20, she dedicated her life to becoming my mom. I remember that on Saturday mornings, she would lift me in her arms and we danced cheek to cheek to the groovy songs of the 70s. And her words in my ear were, "Mija, you can be anything you want, and you will always have my moral support. You'll just have to work really, really hard." And she also taught me to be proud of our cultural traditions. So in addition to dancing to those groovy songs, we also danced to the música romántica of Los Panchos. And she corrected my Spanish until I became annoyed. And she would say, "Un día vas a necesitar hablar los 2 idiomas muy bien, y me vas a dar las gracias. One day you'll need to speak both languages, and then you can thank me." And boy, did she make sure that I was up to date with the latest in cultural fashions. "Te miras hermosa con ese zarape." And you can see by my smile that I believed her. When I got sick, she used many of the traditional home remedies. She rubbed Vicks Vaporub on my chest. She gave me tecitos. And then she always made sure that I wore chanclas on a cold floor so that I wouldn't catch a cold. And it was in large part to her nurturing ways that I chose the profession of doctora. And even then, I knew that a good doctora was more than just prescribing medication or helping to lower blood sugar or even just delivering babies. It was also about understanding the life struggles that people came with. So there I was, inspired by 2 of the most amazing women that I've ever known. I had the dream, I had the support of my family, and I knew that I would have to work very hard. But who was going to teach me what I needed to do to be a doctor? How was I going to get there? What were the steps? Well, I graduated from high school and I went off to college, still not knowing exactly how I was going to make this dream a reality. Someone once said that to be a doctor you had to be good at math and science. And remember, my favorite subject was art. I liked math and science, but I wasn't very good at it. And so I started to think that maybe it was best for me to just give up on the doctor thing and do something else. And that thing that I believed at 10 years old slowly started to disappear. Slowly but surely, I stopped believing that I could be a doctor. And before I knew it, I had stopped dreaming altogether. I did graduate from college, and I majored in something that I loved, sociology, and I even found a job that I loved. I became a high school teacher, and I taught for 2 years, and I had a great time doing it. But every now and then, I would think about what it would have been like if I hadn't given up on that dream. Why had I been so afraid of math? Why had I been so afraid of science? Why was I so afraid that I couldn't do it? I started to consider going back to school, but again, I had no one to teach me. I didn't know any doctors. Who would tell me what I was supposed to do to get there? Is there a place that I could read about it? Do I just apply to medical school and cross my fingers and hope that they accept me? and I started to feel very alone. And I literally felt like the great Chespirito once said, and some of you guys may be too young to know this, but I felt like, ¿y ahora quién podrá ayudarme? So without having any answers, I did the only thing that I knew, which was to start at the beginning. I went back to school, community college, to East Los Angeles College, and my life changed. Suddenly, I discovered the most important word in my life, mentorship. What is a mentor? A mentor is more than someone who just inspires you. A mentor is going to show you the way. I met mentor after another. Some of them were students just like me who told me what classes to take. Some of them were physicians that I emailed and I called on a regular basis. And not one of those people was ever too tired, too busy, or too important. And I found out exactly what I needed to do to get into medical school. Was it hard? Unbelievably hard. I studied long nights. I missed many family functions. And I had to say no to a lot of things. But in the end, it was all worth it. And you know how this story ends. I got into medical school, and I thanked all my mentors. But they all told me the same thing. Don't thank me. Just do the same for someone else. So throughout medical school, I studied, and I studied, and I studied some more. But what you may not know are the things that I get to do on a regular basis that make all of that studying so worthwhile. No one tells you how wonderful it will feel the first time that you get to do a foot exam on a patient that is currently experiencing homelessness. When you remove those hard calluses from their feet and they get to walk pain-free another day. Or about the opportunities you'll get to speak at the state capitol to demand more fair healthcare reform so that each one of our brothers and sisters, documented or not, may receive healthcare. Or removing tattoos with a laser, and during that last removal treatment where you get to tell your patient, that's it. That was your last treatment. Your gang tattoo is now gone. Go and get that job that you've always wanted and start your new life. Or one of my personal favorites, speaking one-on-one to students just like you to answer that question that haunted me for so long. How? How will I get there? What classes will I take? How am I going to pay for this? This is where I get the chance to do what other mentors did for me. And there's no better feeling in the world than when one of my students calls me and tells me those life-changing words. I did it. I got into medical school. Years later, you can see that some things never change. I still proudly engage in those colorful traditions so dear to my heart. I live in gratitude to those mujeres, those strong mujeres, that paved the way, and to those mentors who helped me actually walk this path. And whatever your dream is, to be a teacher, a lawyer, a scientist, or so on, you can do it. Don't stop dreaming, not today, not when it gets hard, and not when you don't know what to do to get there. Find your mentors. Find people who will show you the way. That is what today is about. You can find that someone today. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and people who will dream with you, and love yourself. I'm not talking about the duck face, selfie love yourself, but the loving yourself where you know how wonderful you are just the way you are now. Your dreams, your traditions, your culture, your inner beauty, and your inner strength. Para las mamás y los papás, recuerden que su apoyo y sus porras significan todo para sus jovencitas. No se enojen cuando tengan que estudiar en vez de ir a la quinceañera de la prima o a la casa de la tía. Dejen que estudien y van a ver que un día se lo van a agradecer. I would like to end this message by sharing with you one of my favorite pieces of artwork. It's by a young lady named Irina Flores Ortiz. Have you ladies ever heard of the term chingona? I used to hear this term a lot. Es bien chingona. And I thought that it was something negative. But I love this piece of art because it captures what being chingona really means, which is being the baddest, awesomest, and most dedicated mujer that you can possibly be. So wake up each day and say it. Today, I will be chingona. I will be fierce. I will be fierce. I will be strong. And I will not stop dreaming. Today is your day. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much.